All right, let's get into our next one. We've got Anderson. Mike, this one's yours.
Okay, I think this is nobody's brother-in-law. This is one that we report on. This is its own thing. All right, Anderson, talking about affordable. This is definitely of the ones that we report on, the most affordable market that we report on from a sales point of view and from a rental price point of view. And you can see it just here on this average rental price, which has been unchanged for the past, like 6 months. It's like pegged at 1,100 and is not moving. But that's good because it was last year. It was like at 850, 900. And I think we single-handedly rose that to 1,100. So it's good to see it staying there. So anyway.
Consistently staying there.
It is, right? It just does not move. Average rental price, $1,100. Average days on the market a little higher than I'd like to see, and the trend there, if you kind of take a sneak peek at that middle lower graph, average days on the market is, for whatever reason, heading in the wrong direction. Maybe it's trying to compete with its brother-in-law Westfield. Active homes on the market is 76. Average price per square foot is $1.03. Now, the Anderson market, because it is so affordable, is also a heavy apartment community, and there's actually more apartments on the market than there are single-family homes. So there's 106 apartments on the market with an average rent price of $817. So certainly a little bit more affordable there. And then the average apartment for rent is $1.37 per square foot. There's only one townhome, so I'm not even going to go over that. We touched on the average rent price over time. That is just totally unchanged for the past 6 months, $1,100. Average days on the market, concerned about that, heading in the wrong direction for sure. And then average number of homes on the market looks like it's decreasing. It looks like it did the exact same thing last year, which is interesting. So I love to see less inventory as we go into the busy market. So, I mean, overall, kind of the same here. Days on the market's a little bit of a question mark as far as why that's happening.
Yeah. And just for a little bit of fun here. So if you look at that average rent price trend, so we had a heartbeat there for a second, and then all of a sudden the average rent price heard the average days on market was at 80, and it died. It flatlined.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Maybe that's a stretch, but I thought it was funny. So,
All right, let's look at the sales data.
All right,
as I mentioned, Anderson remains super, super affordable, and I'm going to jump around here a little bit, but that bottom right graph just jumps out to you, and you can see how quickly how affordable that is. I mean, the vast majority of the homes are selling for under $200,000. You almost can't spend $500,000 in Anderson. I certainly wouldn't recommend it as an investor. So super, super affordable market. This is an area, Chris, going back to I think it was in Indy, this is an area where you might be able to pick up a house for maybe 80 or 90 and do a rehab on it and have a reasonable rental. I wouldn't do that on the east side of Indianapolis, I can tell you that. But here, I would definitely consider something like that.
Good point.
That would definitely fit because, the average sales price is $190. If you pick up, a rehab at, like I said, 80, 90 or $100,000, you put $20,000 or $30,000 into it, you've got yourself a reasonable rental. Increase year over year. Although if you look at the sales price over time, you can see there was a little bit of a downward blip in March. So that 16% is probably just a little bit exaggerated. Average days on the market, honestly, a little higher than what I was expecting. 67 days on the market, which is down 1.5% month over month and up 19, almost 20% year over year. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Number of homes sold, 64. That is up almost 5% month over month, but down almost 10% year over year. And then average price per square foot is $137 price per square foot. That is up both month over month and year over year. I think that's it. I pretty much talked about that bottom right one, but this remains a really attractive, affordable market, a little bit more speculative. There's not a ton of economic activity out there other than just being close to some of the good markets there in Indianapolis. So affordable, a little bit speculative, but I believe lots of room to run on average sales price and average rent.
Yeah, you beat me to it. The only thing I was going to add here is Anderson's affordable. The only hesitant thing I would have about Anderson is that as the suburban areas around Anderson seem to see growth opportunities, Anderson just continues to have baby step growth, if any. It's just stale. I don't know if that's the leadership in Anderson or what it is. Now I know Pendleton, which is just outside of Anderson, is getting a little bit closer to Anderson. Now Pendleton's having some growth options happening, opportunities happening right now, and that might help Anderson a little bit, depending on the leadership in Anderson. But because that's happening so close to Anderson, Pendleton is really growth driven right now. That could speak to Anderson's near future. But that's the only thing. If you were buying an Anderson, is like there's nothing exciting ever happening. Although everything around it is like we're building this, we're building that, we have this happening economically. But Anderson's like we're here.
I agree, Chris, 100%. I don't think I'm buying an Anderson for a huge appreciation play. For me, this is a cash flow play. If I'm a cash flow buyer,
Exactly.
this is where I'm looking. I'm looking for Anderson. I totally agree. You're seeing lots of stuff in Pendleton. I mean, gosh, I was just looking maybe last month. I was actually thinking about investing in Pendleton. I was like, oh man, but their prices are crazy. I mean, they're
They
three
are
and
high.
$400,000 and $500,000
It's a
before you know it,
different way of
instantaneously.
living over there. Yeah. They really thrive on that small town environment, and they keep their prices high to keep it that way.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't think it's a huge appreciation play. It's a cash flow play. It's probably lots of opportunities for some rehabs to kind of increase your cash flow even more. But I agree. There's nothing exciting about Anderson. That's for sure.
Yeah. And we keep reporting on this, hoping that something like that's going to strike, and we're going to be like, we reported it at $900 a month, just so you know. All right. That's Anderson. Let's get into, I think, the West Side Roundup.